The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and details have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of Bizarre Murders,
You don't have a shred of evidence against my client.
Patrick is a big-shot attorney with a reputation as a ladies' man. But when he meets the woman of his dreams, he's hooked.
Marry me.
Beautiful, smart, and hiding more secrets than the Pentagon.
I'll let him know that you called, okay?
He's got no idea. Yeah! She's about to become his worst nightmare. Savannah, Georgia. A city overflowing with good old Southern charm and hospitality. But also a hot spot for crime. And the domain of the sharply dressed gentleman and criminal lawyer, Patrick.
You don't have a shred of evidence against my client. I'll have this charge thrown out before your coffee gets cold.
Oozing charisma and smarts, Patrick is a consummate showman. He's the go-to guy for everyone, from trust fund kids charged with sexual assault to murderous drug dealers. Patrick is a larger-than-life figure in and out of the courtroom. He's been married and divorced 3 times. Patrick may be a high flyer, but he's not without his demons. He's well known for going on benders, disappearing for days before sobering up and getting back to work.
Patrick is what we call a high-functioning alcoholic. He may think he's always in control, but like any addict, he's prone to making some pretty impulsive moves. It's that mentality that can open you up to trouble, no matter how smart you think you are.
You have a resume for me?
I do.
Patrick meets Amanda when she comes in to interview for a paralegal position.
So, why do you think you're a good fit for the job here?
Well, Patrick. Can I call you Patrick?
Yeah.
He's immediately taken with her.
It's gotta be here, Amanda.
There,
Amanda quickly establishes herself as an outstanding employee.
right?
You're right. Excellent work. Excellent work.
She's quick to impress, both at work and during off hours.
You are something else, you know that?
Amanda is different than any other woman he's met before, or married.
You're smart. You're beautiful.
Patrick falls hard and fast. Very soon, they're in a serious relationship.
I think you got something behind your ear. No, this one right here. Right there.
And when Patrick pops the question,
Marry me.
Just try and stop me.
Amanda doesn't hesitate.
I guess Patrick never heard of the old saying, marry in haste, repent at your leisure. But he's one of those guys who can't stand being alone. Who knows? Maybe 4th time's a charm. Good luck. He's just proposed to the woman he barely knows. Sure, she's beautiful and good at her job, but who is she really? Married life always has a way of unpacking everybody's baggage sooner or later.
Amanda and Patrick settle into what looks like wedded bliss.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Thanks, babe.
Breakfast is served. Pancakes your favorite?
Patrick loves taking care of his new wife.
With a side of diamond.
That is so beautiful.
For you.
Oh, wow. I love it. Thanks, babe.
And in turn,
Yeah, come on, princess! Get moving, get moving!
Amanda opens up a whole new world for Patrick.
Run, Come on!
Yes!
when she introduces him to her passion, horse racing.
She's hot! She's hot! She's coming! She's coming! She's coming! Yeah! We are in the money!
From his first derby in mint julep, Patrick is hooked. And it doesn't take long for Amanda to convince Patrick to buy their own racehorse.
Oh, sweet.
Soon, they're in the winner's circle.
What?
But a few months after their wedding,
Doesn't make sense.
Patrick discovers the woman of his dreams isn't as perfect as he thought she was. The state bar accuses Amanda of embezzling nearly $100,000 from client trust accounts and siphoning it back into the firm.
They're accusing you of embezzling $100,000. Like, what do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know what to say.
When Patrick confronts her,
You have to forgive me.
Amanda offers no explanation.
Her husband's loaded, but she deliberately steals from his clients. What's the payoff? Either Amanda's not a very good thief or this is emotional blackmail. She's testing the limits of Patrick's love for her. Now, I call that some kind of baggage.
Instead of letting Amanda pay the piper, Patrick, the ever-doting husband, pays back the money, packs up his practice, and the two lovebirds head east to start over with a clean slate.
Patrick has fallen under the spell of his new bride, who's no ordinary trophy wife. But will her charms prove to be toxic?
Patrick sets up a new practice in Greenwich, Connecticut as a real estate lawyer. And it's not long before his practice is thriving. Once again, he and Amanda are living the high life. Patrick and Amanda's passion for horses only grows with the move to Connecticut.
And here's to victory. Yeah!
They're now owners of 3 prize-winning stallions and fixtures on the racing circuit.
No, sorry, he's not here right now.
Want to talk to my dad now? I haven't seen him since the wedding.
Well, I'll let him know that you called, okay?
Yeah, please do.
All right. Bye.
Patrick's never been happier,
Here you go, babe.
but his family and friends are having doubts about his latest wife.
Thank you.
Who was that?
Oh, it's just some pesky telemarketer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Amanda is extremely evasive when asked about her past, and his family complain she's cutting them off from Patrick. Even when his daughter Maggie digs into her past and finds out Amanda has been in trouble for writing a bad check, Patrick refuses to hear anything against her and cuts off ties.
So we've got a new young wife whose sticky fingers put her husband in a dicey position. Patrick had to move his home and practice to save face. This looks like the earmarks of a narcissist who can't see how her actions reflect on anyone else. But now, Amanda is isolating Patrick from family and old friends, making him totally dependent on her for his happiness. And that sounds familiar to me. This is the MO of a con artist.
I don't know what we're gonna do about this.
I know, but see, I was doing some research, and if we go down to this section,
With business booming, Amanda, who is now managing the office, decides to hire herself an assistant.
that gets us out of the issue we had over here, right?
That looks really good on you.
Thank you.
Brooke is pretty, bright, and very eager to learn.
Oh, what did he say to you?
So I started going on about something, and I said, I'm sorry, but those accounts just aren't yours.
Right?
It's not going to work that way. So I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking, but
The two women click instantly, and soon they're inseparable.
Good for you, though, seriously. Wow.
well, I learned from the best, so.
Usually, Patrick would be up for a little menage a trois fun, but not when the other woman looks like she'd like to cut him out of the equation completely.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Here's a guy who turns a blind eye to his wife's embezzlement attempt, but not when somebody's making a play for her affections. Brooke seems as obsessed as he is about Amanda, and worse, Amanda appears to be returning the feelings. Love triangles can be messy. Who's gonna throw down first is anyone's guess.
Did you see it? That was so good.
Oh, great. Right on time, 30 minutes late. And what is she doing here? Amanda, what is she doing here? No.
I invited her.
Get her out. Get her out. I want her out. I want her out.
Tensions reach a boiling point when Brooke shows up unannounced at the biggest horse race of the season,
You're fired. I want her out. You're
I'm
fired.
fired.
the Duchess Cup.
You can't fire me. I don't work for you.
Oh,
So-
I just did.
I'm sorry, you're not my boss.
I just fired you. Amanda,
Patrick,
fire your little whatever the
take
hell.
it easy. Let's all
Fired.
just
Get her
go
out.
to the Derby and have a good time together. How about that?
Oh, I've been having a great time.
I'm not leaving, so you can just deal with that, or maybe you don't have to go to the Derby.
With 2 horses in the running, Patrick has a lot riding on the race.
Let's go.
Run it.
A $1 million purse, to be exact. So for now, he's laying off Brooke, but not the booze.
Win me some money. Win me some money.
2 laps in, and Patrick is barely holding it together.
I don't feel so good.
Come on. Come on, run it. Run it. Run. Come on. No.
He might be a killer in the courtroom, but Patrick ought to watch his back when it comes to competing for a woman's heart.
God, he's so heavy.
So disgusting.
Smells like a tiki bar. Jesus Christ.
Back in the hotel room, things go from bad to worse for Patrick.
Let me get our medicine for our sick patient here.
You don't need an FBI badge to see Amanda's made her choice and that she has a more permanent solution to her Patrick problem. Get rid of him for good.
Time to take your medicine like a good boy.
Patrick tries to beg for his life, but he's paralyzed. Whatever Amanda gave him is powerful.
Why kill Patrick? For the money? And what's Amanda's plan once he's dead? It's going to be tough to explain how he died if there's an autopsy and they find poison in his system. And if she gets rid of the body, there's going to be other questions. Patrick is well known in legal and horse racing circles. People are going to notice if he's missing.
Damn, what are you doing? Oh, look at him. Hurry up. Oh my God, we don't have time for this. Well, let's go. He looks ridiculous. Let's go.
After managing to sneak Patrick out of the hotel, they drive to a secluded area so Amanda can get rid of the body.
So the thing about poison is, if you're not an expert like you or me, chances are you don't know exactly how much you'll need or how long it'll take to do the job.
Check his pulse. He's still breathing. Are you kidding me?
This is where Amanda faces a moral crossroads of sorts. Does she bury him alive or wait it out?
Well, let's take him home.
In the end, she opts for a weekend at Patrick's move. Oh, yeah, I know it's not the name of the movie.
Can you go check on him?
Okay. Not yet.
It takes another 6 hours before Patrick finally draws his last breath. Only Amanda's problems are far from over.
If you're going to go as far as killing a guy, then you better go all the way and put him 6 feet under.
Fridge.
not in the fridge. I mean, that might slow decomposition, but it won't stop it altogether. So now they face the risk of A, someone discovering the body when they go to look for Chardonnay, or B, as time goes by, it gets harder to get rid of a rotting corpse without anybody suspecting. And then there's C. Where are they gonna put all that wine now?
Cheers.
Yeah.
At first, when Patrick doesn't show up at the office, people assume he's gone on another bender. Amanda and Brooke get to work cleaning out Patrick's accounts and selling off his assets to a tune of $600,000.
I couldn't have done it better myself.
They liquidate everything except Patrick's prize-winning horses. I guess Amanda's got a sentimental streak. Or she just loves horses more than she loves people.
While Patrick is stuffed in the wine fridge, they burn through his money on flashy new cars, wild nights out, and expensive jewelry. Then Brooke moves in. She and Amanda settle into domestic bliss.
I've heard that couples who've been together for a long time start to actually resemble one another. This terrifies my wife. But in this situation, it's just creepy. I'd say master manipulator Amanda is up to something.
As the weeks pass, people start inquiring about Patrick's whereabouts. Amanda and Brooke feed them a web of lies.
These two ladies get real creative. They tell his clients he's out of town, but friends and family, like his daughter, are told he's in rehab in Costa Rica and he's joined a cult. They're convinced people will buy what they're selling and they're gonna get away with it. Ladies, I really hate to burst your bubble, but real life isn't a movie. Sooner or later, people are gonna get wise.
Worried sick,
Detective Novak?
Patrick's daughter Maggie reports him missing to the police.
Okay.
Amanda somehow catches wind the police want to talk to her about her missing husband. That's her cue. She needs to get rid of the body. They drive to Atlantic City and check into a hotel. While Brooke waits in the room, Amanda scouts a suitable place to bury Patrick.
I could have told Amanda that getting rid of a body isn't as easy as it looks, but she's got an even bigger problem now. As soon as Patrick is out of the fridge, decomposition speeds up. It's no fun having cops breathing down your neck with a stench like that oozing from your trunk. It smells like about 200 pounds of rotted, maggot-infested meat. That little pine tree under your rearview mirror, it's not gonna cut it. She has to move fast.
The next day, Amanda finally manages to bury Patrick in a shallow grave in the countryside, 100 miles from her home. Then, Amanda drains the firm's cash deposits, over $100,000, and closes down the office. Finally, she sends Brooke a text. But when Brooke arrives to meet up with her girlfriend, Amanda is nowhere to be found.
Amanda's flown the coop with a whole lot of cash. Sure, she can run, but the question is, will she get away with murder?
When Patrick's body is found in a shallow grave, police launch a nationwide manhunt for Amanda. The coroner determines that Patrick died from ingesting large quantities of asapromazine, a common horse tranquilizer.
I've seen my share of murder weapons, but this is a first. There is nothing common about death by horse tranquilizers. Amanda's big problem is she's practically pointed a finger at herself. It's no secret that she and Patrick owned horses, so she had access to what? Horse tranquilizer. That's means. She stole Patrick's money. That's motive. But ironically, if she hadn't put him in the fridge, she might still have gotten away with murder. See, decomposition destroys everything, including most poisons. If she'd buried him pronto, Patrick would have been worm food already, but preserving him meant the poison was still traceable in his organs and bodily fluids. Once the tox screen was run, it's good night, Amanda.
Police dig into Amanda's background and discover she's got a rap sheet of over 100 frauds and theft offenses. And she's got 30 aliases. Among them, Elizabeth, the horse whisperer, Crystal, the real estate agent, and Shanty, the massage therapist. Her real name is Karen.
Anyone with that many aliases gets as much of an adrenaline rush from scamming people as they do stealing money. They don't see the world the way you and I do. They're actors who spin tales to boost their own egos. Getting people to buy into the fantasy is what gets them off. And as soon as they've acquired the information to forge another identity, they're off to rinse and repeat.
Authorities eventually track Amanda to Myrtle Beach, where it all began. She's got a new ID, a new job, and guess what? A new man. Amanda is arrested and gives a full confession.
Amanda's got that gift that all clever con artists have, the ability to reinvent themselves. They instinctively know how to play their mark by becoming exactly what the mark needs them to be. They gain trust using many techniques, but it's all part of a big game.
It all started when Patrick and I started to have marital problems. Brooke came into the picture, and to be honest, I did feel like we had something special.
But why Amanda decided to kill Patrick instead of merely draining him dry? Could be she actually had real feelings for Brooke.
But there was something wrong with her. It wasn't enough for her to just have me divorce him.
But obviously not enough to take the rap all by herself.
I really hope that she gets the help she needs.
Brooke is brought in for questioning.
Okay, Brooke, tell me what you know.
I'm just his assistant. I don't really know what's going on. I'm not really sure.
But denies any involvement in the murder.
She's made a confession, and your name is all over it.
That's not true. If you're gonna pin this on anyone, it's her fault.
Looks like Mini-Me picked up a few tips from her master. The con artist MO is never cop to anything. Their defense is, hey, the mark was just asking to be had.
I'll show them.
If convicted, both the women could face the death penalty. But Amanda doesn't give prosecutors a chance. She kills herself in jail while awaiting trial.
The letter she leaves behind is to her lawyer, instructing him to sue the police for giving her the means to kill herself. She wants a settlement to go to her horses. You gotta hand it to her. Even in death, Amanda can't help herself. For a con artist, failure is not the end. It's just a signal to try a new angle.
Luckily for Brooke, there's no physical evidence tying her directly to the crime. She's sentenced to 10 years for voluntary manslaughter and fraud.
I bet Brooke spent some quality time trying to figure out why Amanda did what she did. I mean, she had all the time in the world to. But when all's said and done, with Amanda dead, no one will ever really know her true motivations. And I kind of suspect that even Amanda herself wasn't too sure. Like the saying goes, though, it's a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma.
The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and details have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of Bizarre Murders,
Ecco la qua.
Angelica and her husband Manny live a comfortable life in a close-knit Italian neighborhood. Until a violent random act leaves her husband lying in a hospital bed.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
With the perpetrator at large, investigators quickly launch a statewide manhunt. But as detectives close in on the culprit, an unlikely clue leads them to a two-faced killer with a penchant for pasta. Staten Island, New York, 2009.
Aiutami, help me!
Ma'am, I need you to calm down.
Sei pazzo! How can I calm down? A man just came into our house and threw something in my husband's face!
Just stay calm, ma'am.
Angelica makes a panicked call to police to report an attack on her husband, Manny.
It's burning! His skin is falling off!
Ma'am, please, stay
It's
calm.
gonna be okay, honey.
Ma'am, paramedics will be on their way.
Grazie, thank you.
Manny is admitted to the hospital and treated for third-degree burns to the face.
Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
Mio fratello.
His brother Mario rushes to his side.
Are you okay? What happened to you?
Angelica and Manny have been happily married for 5 years. He works as a real estate agent, and she's a veterinary technician. In their free time, there's nothing that makes them happier than baking. But as time goes on, Manny becomes more focused on work than his wife. Angelica begins to feel neglected and more than a little bit lonely. The day of the attack, Angelica once again tries to capture Manny's attention.
Eccola qua.
Bellissime. Grazie.
She's prepared his favorite meal, spaghetti and meatballs.
Perfetto.
Vino?
Sì, grazie. Oh, scusa.
Just as they're sitting down to dinner, a masked man breaks into their house and throws a bottle of acid right in Manny's face.
Over the course of my career, I've seen very few cases where acid is used as a weapon. But when I do see it, it immediately tells me one thing. This was not a random attack. The likelihood that this has been done by a stranger is almost zero. Think about it. The perpetrator is not trying to kill the victim. He's trying to maim him for life, a permanent and painful injury that will last until the day he dies. And that tells us two things about the criminal. One, this attack is personal. And two, they could benefit from a few anger management classes.
And blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
The prayers of an overwrought Angelica are suddenly interrupted.
I'm Detective Simon. How are you?
Hey.
How you doing?
Hello, detective.
He asks her to recount the previous night's events.
You were there when the incident occurred?
I was, yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. We were sitting at home. I hear a bang at the door. Someone walks in, throws acid in his face.
Okay. Does Manny have any enemies you know of?
No, none. Everyone loves Manny.
Any business deals gone bad?
Angelica can't think of a person in the world that would want to hurt Manny this way.
Is that your husband?
Oh, yes. That's my Manny.
Handsome guy.
Wasn't he?
Thank you very much.
But Manny's brother Mario has more to add to Angelica's story.
Detective. Hey,
Yeah.
Mario.
How are you?
I'm no good, huh?
What's wrong?
Angelica, man, I don't trust her.
He knows for a fact that Angelica has been two-timing Manny with some dude from Long Island.
Something is not good. Something's going on.
You have my card.
All right.
If I had $1 for every love triangle I've seen over my career, well, you know how that goes. A lover killing their rival is nothing new in my world. But what is new and I really do appreciate the originality, is that he didn't kill the husband, he just maimed him. So it gets you wondering, what's going on in the mind of this jealous lover? Mark my words, where there's smoke, there's fire, and you smell that? There's definitely smoke here.
Angelica, why don't you tell me what really happened?
What do you mean, what really happened?
Detective Simon confronts Angelica about her brother-in-law's accusation that she's been having an affair.
It's not true.
He tells me he's got evidence.
But when the detective presses her,
Okay, fine.
Angelica spills the beans.
Manny's been very distant lately. He's never around. I started having an affair with my masseuse, Lorenzo.
She claims she's tried to break it off, but he's blackmailing her, threatening to reveal the affair to Manny by sending him lewd photos of her.
Any more?
At this point, Lorenzo the lover has jumped to the top of the suspect list. But the question is, what the heck is this guy thinking?
Where can I find this Lorenzo?
By maiming Manny and blackmailing Angelica, he's only succeeded in driving her back to her husband. Wild guess, but I don't think that's the result he was looking for.
Detective Simon does a background check on Angelica's boyfriend, Lorenzo. He learns that this handsome 33-year-old masseuse is not all that he's cracked up to be. Lorenzo has falsified his documents for his massage therapy license, only completing the first year of a 3-year program.
When you find out your #1 suspect has also committed fraud, it makes you feel like you've won the lottery. But I wouldn't go spending the money just yet, because it doesn't necessarily mean that Lorenzo is the culprit. It just means that we found ourselves a guy who's not willing to color within the lines.
Hello, this is Detective Simon. I'm looking for your son.
I know I shouldn't be judgmental, but frequently I am, so there you go.
When do you expect him back in, sorry?
When you see a 30-year-old man living with mommy and daddy, you start to form a profile of the guy. And by profile, I mean an opinion that goes something like this: fraudster, blackmailer, mama's boy. And that's a real winner in my book. And by winner, I mean that he's a good suspect.
Could you just let him know that I called?
Unable to track down their prime suspect, Lorenzo, who Detective Simon believes to be dangerous, they put out a bolo.
BOLO stands for Be on the Lookout. Basically, Lorenzo's a wanted man, and every cop in the state is now looking for him. And the only way he's getting away is if he's 10 times smarter than the cops. And, well, listen, if you flunk out of massage school, I think we both know Lorenzo's odds.
Brother, you get thirsty, yeah? Let's get a drink.
Angelica and Mario face off at Manny's bedside, both believing they have his best interests at heart.
All right, easy. Watch his face. He's got acid all over it. Oh, spaghetti and meatballs. Got to make your favorite meal, eh? Oh, brother, look at this. All right, you can tell me how good it is, huh? You ready? Want a bite?
I can't eat that. I'm a vegetarian.
This guy still got a sense of humor, huh?
I'm serious. I can't eat that.
The problem here, and you can see it, is that Manny just refused his favorite dish in the world. So it kind of begs the question, how did this manly meat eater suddenly change his culinary tune?
When Manny refuses his favorite dish,
I can't eat that.
Mario has a hunch that something isn't right.
What's wrong with your voice, huh?
I read about this in a book. He experienced trauma while he was eating the meatballs. Now he has meat phobia.
He has a meat phobia now.
Yeah, he's not gonna eat meatballs anymore. He has a phobia of them.
Meat phobia, and it affects the way your voice sounds too, right? Detective Simon, it's Mario. I need to talk to you about my brother.
Sensing something's very wrong, Mario urgently contacts Detective Simon to let him know what happened.
I'm telling you, my brother is not a vegetarian. Nona would be turning in her grave right now.
Detective Simon returns to the hospital to take Manny's fingerprints. He tells Angelica it's a routine procedure they need for their files.
It's not called lying when you're a detective. It's called a ruse. It's called being a smart investigator. Because if you give away your hand, you run the risk of losing the entire game. Sometimes the key to good detective work is keeping your cards very close to your chest.
Because Manny works as a real estate agent, his fingerprints are on file. They run his prints through the system and check them against his employment records. What they find sends the case in a whole new direction.
Wait a second.
They aren't Manny's fingerprints.
Okay, hold the phone, people. It's not Manny in the hospital bed.
Oh, shoot.
Now, this is a game changer because Angelica has been caught red-handed in a lie. So the burning question is this: what's she holding back? And more to the point, who's the dude with third-degree burns all over his face pretending to be Angelica's hubby? Stick around. I guarantee you'll be amused, or horrified, or both.
Angelica, tell me exactly what happened.
Like I said, we were sitting down for dinner about 6:30.
Angelica is interrogated for hours, but she sticks to her story.
It doesn't sound realistic.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Then tell me the truth. I have all day. Why don't we start from the top again?
Okay. I made spaghetti and meatballs. His Nonna taught me how to make them just the way he likes them. So, when he gets home, he's excited. It's his favorite meal. When we sit down to dinner...
After hours of intense grilling, she finally cracks.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what really happened.
After being married for almost 5 years, Angelica finds herself bored and lonely, while her husband works day and night. Enter Lorenzo, a young, handsome masseuse who finally gives her the hands-on attention she's been craving for years. Angelica continues to see her massage therapist regularly for maintenance, until one day it turns into something more. For over a year, they stay in touch via text massages and regular massages. Because Manny works so many nights,
To you, Lolo.
To you, Mike.
they have more and more chances to see each other, eventually meeting up regularly at Angelica's house.
You have such perfect hands.
But their reckless love makes them careless, and unbeknownst to them, Manny's brother Mario catches them in the act.
What's this? How could you do this to us? To me? Why, Angelica, why?
Armed with the news that his wife is having an affair, Manny confronts Angelica.
I see two mouths attached.
No,
No, what? No,
That's
what
just
is this?
Donald. It's Donald.
It's Donald?
Yes.
It's Donald.
It's Tabitha's brother. Tabitha, my best friend.
Okay.
She denies everything and insists Mario must have seen her with her best friend's brother, planning a wedding shower for her, and have been spending a lot of time together.
He was trying to see the pamphlet we're choosing her wedding cake. Look, it's true.
When they say love is blind, what they mean, really, is love is kind of stupid. Instead of believing his brother, who he's known all his life and who has always had his best interests at heart.
You know I would never cheat on you. I love you.
I love you.
He chooses to believe his wife's lame excuse. But the thing about hiding behind a huge cloak of denial is that it can often come back to bite you in the ass, and hard.
Manny knows about us.
Oh, no.
A worried Angelica tells her lover Lorenzo that her husband has found out about their affair.
I managed to convince him that it wasn't true, but it's only a matter of time until he finds out. What should we do?
Look. Look at me. Let's run away. Okay? We'll run away together.
Run away.
But while Angelica wants nothing more than to ditch her dull life and start over,
No, we can't run away. My mom and my dad, my sisters.
She can't leave her family. They'd be crushed if she disappeared.
Unless,
But unwilling to let her lover go,
if I can't go away,
Angelica has an idea.
then Manny should go away. Permanently.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So we've gone from, I can't leave my parents, they would be crushed, to, let's kill my husband. What would Mommy and Daddy think if they knew their darling daughter was considering a new career as a killer? But here's the thing about criminals. They can compartmentalize. On one hand, they don't want to hurt their family's feelings, and on the other hand, they make a decision to kill their husband in cold blood. Look, I never said this stuff made sense.
Angelica hatches a plan.
There's a syringe and some medicine I can get from the veterinarian's office. If we inject Manny with it, he'll fall asleep for hours.
Then, when he's passed out, they'll kill him, hide his body, and Lorenzo will assume the identity of her husband.
How are people gonna believe I'm Manny?
Finally, somebody asks a smart question. I'm interested to see what she has in mind. Whatever it is, I guarantee it will be foolproof. Or maybe not.
Look, he's the same height as you. Basically the same stature. It's just acid. We'll throw acid in your face.
My face?
And then they'll have to rebuild it with plastic surgery and they can make you look just like Manny.
Lorenzo can then assume Manny's identity.
Ouch.
And the two can live happily ever after.
I don't know.
You don't know?
It sounds like Angelica has been watching too many true crime reenactment shows. I don't see a problem with this plan, do you? Never mind Lorenzo would have to learn all about Manny's background, family, work, likes and dislikes. He'd then have to speak and act like Manny. Even the best actor would have a problem doing all that, much less a fake massage therapist. I'd laugh at this plan if an innocent man's life wasn't at stake.
I thought you said you wanted to be with me. Don't you want to be with me, Lolo?
I know I do.
You said you loved me.
I do.
As Angelica convinces Lorenzo of the merits of her plan,
Then we can do this.
Okay, we can do it.
Hi, Annie, I'm home.
Manny arrives home unexpectedly.
Honey.
Great instincts, buddy. Whack the guy on the back of the head. You never heard about crawling out a window or running out a back door? You know, the way most cheaters escape a close call?
What do we do?
Lorenzo doesn't wait for an answer, leaving Angelica to deal with the mess.
Angelica's really got herself in a pickle. Her husband has just been clobbered over the head in his own home, and her lover has left her high and dry. The walls are starting to close in for good old Angie.
As Manny recovers on the couch, Angelica concocts a story.
What happened?
You were sleepwalking and you fell and you hit your head on the coffee table.
But Manny, confused, doesn't even remember going to bed.
I was sleepwalking?
Yeah, you were sleepwalking.
Angelica assures him that with head injuries, you often forget important details.
Honey, don't touch it.
Not knowing what to believe, Manny looks deep into Angelica's eyes, searching for the truth.
Okay, I know there's a rule that you don't blame the victim, but if he truly believes that cockamamie story about how he hurt his head, then he's got bigger problems than just a cheating wife. Remember what I said about denial? Well, it's sharpening its teeth right about now.
You'll be fine.
Are you sure?
I'll take care of you.
Angelica has managed to convince her husband Manny that the bump on the back of his head was caused by sleepwalking.
You sleepwalk all the time, honey.
But Angelica's not out of the woods yet.
Well, I think we need to call the doctor.
Honey, no, it's just a little bump. All you need is some ice and some rest.
Unable to convince Angelica to take him to the hospital,
You'll be fine.
I think I'm gonna call Mario.
Manny calls his brother Mario instead. After taking his brother to the doctor to be treated for his head injury, Mario insists on staying with Manny. A silent standoff ensues as both Mario and Angelica watch over Manny. After a few hours, Angelica receives a text from Lorenzo.
Who's that?
It's my mom. I have to go to work, so she's gonna come and watch him. You can go home.
Your mom, eh?
Yeah, it's my mom. She'll take care of him.
All right, yeah, I should probably take off anyways.
Come on.
As Angelica and Lorenzo reunite, Manny begins to stir. Angelica rushes to her purse and pulls out the needle she stole from the veterinary's office where she works. Then she plunges the needle into Manny's arm, filling his veins with a potent anesthesia.
Get the poker.
Okay. Okay.
Hit him.
Okay.
Give that to me.
After a couple of blows to the noggin, she hands the poker to Lorenzo,
Hit him.
insisting he do some of the dirty work.
Harder.
The couple proceed to beat Manny to death
Okay, give it to me.
on his own living room couch.
So here's the thing about Angelica. She's managed to convince her husband the affair didn't happen, get his doting brother out of the house, and convince her lover to help her bash her husband's brains in. She's a master manipulator who will stop at nothing to get what she wants. If nothing else, she's a force to be reckoned with, and I'd certainly think twice before meeting her in a dark alley.
Angelica and Lorenzo roll Manny's body in a bedsheet and drive to an abandoned building.
Ow.
Oh, mi amor.
And yeah, a little deeper.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That feels good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As an afterthought, they throw the syringe and the fire poker in the dumpster.
So in case you haven't noticed, I'd like to point out a couple of genius moments here. One, who stops in the middle of disposing a body to get a neck massage? And two, who plants the murder weapon with the body? Good old Bonnie and Clyde here. You can't get nothing by them.
Will you be my Manny?
I do. I mean, I will. The dumpster.
Angelica and Lorenzo return to the house
Are you ready?
I guess so.
and put the next phase of their plan into action.
Hey, no, calm down. Calm down.
Here's a question for you. What kind of man would allow his face to be permanently disfigured for a woman?
It's okay. The burning will stop. Calm down.
He's obviously a people pleaser with a self-esteem problem. And here's another question. What kind of woman would subject her lover to that kind of pain?
Go into the washroom, wash your face off, and fix your hair. Make it look like Manny's.
When you think about it, they're really perfect for each other in a twisted kind of way. He's kind of the yin to her really messed up yang.
Angelica, you're under arrest for the murder of your husband, Manny.
Well, good old Angie sang like a canary with little more than a nudge. It almost makes you yearn for the good old days when cops and killers were more evenly matched, you know?
Detective Simon allows Angelica one last massage before he hauls her off to prison.
I'm sorry, Lolo.
Me too, Angel.
A little harder. No, to the left a little bit.
Lorenzo admits his part in the scheme and tells Detective Simon where they hid the body and the murder weapon.
Okay, hid is a bit of a misnomer, but I'm not gonna split hairs. The point is, these guys crumbled like a bridge made of blue cheese.
They're accused of criminal conspiracy, murder, and hiding evidence.
I love you, Lolo.
Love you too.
These two somehow thought they could get away with killing a man and taking over his identity without anyone noticing. In my book, that's either pure ignorance or pure stupidity. It's probably both.
Get this picture out of my room.
And to think a bowl of pasta brought these two masterminds down. It's kind of fitting, isn't it? Lorenzo promised Angelica he would do anything for love. But eat meat? He wouldn't do that. Nope, he wouldn't do that.
The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and details have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of Bizarre Murders,
That'll be $3, please.
a young woman dreams of a fairy tale life
Baby.
and does everything in her power to conceive it. But when a grisly discovery is made in her gelato shop, her dreams of happily ever after
Get out!
Jesus.
are shattered forever.
Can you take me to the border?
Brooklyn, New York, 2000. Vera is an ambitious young woman who works full-time at a daycare
Hi, how are you?
and part-time at an old-fashioned ice cream shop, satisfying both her love for children and ice cream.
Sure.
She dreams of falling in love with a handsome prince, building that white picket fence, and having lots of babies.
That'll be $3, please. You're so lucky. Thank you.
Scott is a regular patron of the ice cream parlor.
On the house.
Thank you.
He's an entrepreneur who's launching his own e-zine, and he has a soft spot for Vera. He drops by every day after dinner for his regular double scoop of mint chocolate chip on a sugar cone.
You look really nice.
Thank you.
Scott sweet talks Vera,
I brought you something.
You did?
showering her with gifts and compliments.
God! Oh, they're beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Scott visits Vera every day.
I can't imagine my life without you.
Until just 1 month after they meet.
Will you marry me?
Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of different folks. And what I've found out is that when people are so focused on some idyllic fairy tale life, they tend to overlook a lot of things like A, do they really know each other? And B, do they really know each other? These two young bucks are so in love with the idea of being in love. they have no problems getting hitched a mere month after meeting. So I'm asking you, is this a match made in heaven or a recipe for disaster?
Soon after their wedding, Vera and Scott focus on having a family. But after months of trying, they're still not pregnant. Vera has been vegetarian for years, but in an attempt to eat healthier and improve her chances of conceiving, she decides to make the final leap and become vegan.
For those of you not in the know, vegan basically means no animal products, which also means no dairy. This could prove problematic for a woman who serves ice cream for a living, kind of like an alcoholic working in a liquor store. What could go wrong?
Her newfound veganism means Vera can no longer indulge in her favorite pick-me-up.
Hey.
Hi.
In an attempt to cheer her up, Scott plies her with presents.
Chocolate.
Scott. Chocolate has dairy in it.
It's Swiss.
But Scott is determined to be Vera's knight in shining armor.
Hey.
And presents her with a brilliant business plan. Scott tells Vera that he'll forego his e-zine venture.
What?
And instead use his money to set up a gelato shop.
I love the name.
He'll run the business and she can make the gelato.
What do you say?
Yes.
Yeah?
You are the best.
At first, their partnership works like a charm.
Hi.
Business is booming.
What can I get for you?
And Vera pours everything she has into the gelato shop.
Thank you. Baby.
Should we close the shop early?
I think we should.
But after months of living and working together, their true colors come out.
Do you have to chew so loud?
Do you have to read so loud?
It was only a matter of time before these two really got to know each other. And the problem with marrying somebody a month after you meet them is eventually their mask falls to the ground and you're left with, well, the person you married. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life.
Scott soon tires of Vera's obsessive vegan lifestyle
Seriously, Scott?
and loses interest in both Vera and her business. Scott's disdain for Vera's lifestyle ups the tension in their marriage.
Scott?
And in the bedroom.
Are you in there?
Go away.
Despite the fact that Vera obviously can't stand Scott anymore, he's her ticket to motherhood and she's not giving up on her future children without a fight.
Oh, are you such a child?
Well, I know you are, but what am I?
When people really want something like a baby, it can cause them to do all sorts of things they normally wouldn't. But my advice for Vera in this situation is cut your losses.
I want a divorce, Scott.
Me too.
In the divorce settlement, Vera agrees to buy the business from Scott, and he agrees to move on to greener pastures.
Seems fair.
A quickie marriage that ends in a quickie divorce. This is my surprise face. Easy come, easy go, as they say. It seems that neither one of them are particularly upset that it didn't work out. They're young, they're attractive, there's a bunch more fish in the sea. or flavors in the gelato shop, or, well, you get the picture.
With Scott out of the picture, Vera spends her time creating new vegan flavors for her shop. Until neighbors complain about the noise.
I'm so sorry about the noise. It's just my new mixer. I've been working on this flavor all night long. I'm really sorry. How about I offer you some gelato on the house?
Who can refuse that kind of apology, especially when it's accompanied by free gelato?
Thank you.
Kind of makes you wonder what's behind all that sugar and sweetness. And I'm not talking about the gelato.
Over the next few weeks, Vera actively searches online dating websites for the father of her future kids. When suddenly, a new customer walks in the door.
Hey.
Hi.
Sorry, don't I know you from the news the other day?
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm Justin.
Vera.
Nice to meet you, Vera.
Nice to meet you. What can I get you?
What do you recommend?
Well,
Justin is a vegan activist and a local celebrity in the movement against meat cause.
pomegranate kale.
I love kale.
Vera is immediately smitten.
On the house.
I like this house.
Vera sets her sights on Justin pretty soon after her divorce. From a psychological perspective, that can tell us a lot about her personality. Insecure? Looking for validation? Unable to be alone? Heck, I'd just check all of the above.
Thanks.
Vera and Justin start dating as they bond over their shared vegan values.
Perfect.
And it doesn't take long before Vera invites Justin to move in.
Babe, it's perfect. I love it. I think this is the one we should print. You know, we can give out dozens to people during the marches and stuff. It's really good to have a partner on my quest. You know, to save the world from maniacal meat eaters.
That's important work. I'm glad we can do it together.
So you would think a girl like Vera might have learned a thing or two about diving headfirst into a relationship. But no. See, while she's still looking for her Prince Charming, what she really wants is a baby, which is why she refuses to take the blinders off. But the problem with tunnel vision is you can't see the curveballs coming.
The passion for their united cause spills over into the bedroom.
I love you.
You too, babe.
What do you think about us having a baby?
Babe, my priority right now is the movement. A kid is the last thing I need.
This is exactly what I meant about curveballs. Vera just assumed that having a baby was at the top of the priority list for Justin. She never considered something like asking him if he wanted a baby before they moved in together. The danger in making assumptions is that 9 out of 10 times you're going to be wrong. That leads to disappointment, and inevitably, the gloves come off.
When Justin tells Vera he doesn't want a baby, her dreams of having a family are dashed.
Babe, hurry up. I have a protest this morning.
Okay.
But a desperate Vera refuses to take no for an answer and decides to take matters into her own hands. But the plumbing system is less than reliable in Vera's old apartment.
Babe, come here.
And Justin easily discovers her plan.
Is that your birth control?
Vera, this is totally deceptive and unethical.
Deceptive? All I wanted was a family. You promised me a family.
No, I didn't. You're delusional.
Justin!
Angry at Vera for trying to trick him into fatherhood, Justin puts the brakes on their sex life.
That just wasn't cool, babe. No. We need to focus on our emotional connection, not the physical.
After weeks of abstaining from sex, Justin's still not interested. Vera starts to get suspicious. Her worst fears are confirmed when she discovers he's been sexting with another woman.
What's this?
Babe, it's just an old friend.
Just an old friend? All I wanted was a baby. Why can't you give that to me?
What we have here is a classic case of disconnect between the fairy tale of the white picket fence and the reality, which is most guys don't want to have a baby with someone they've only known for 3 weeks.
Get out!
Jesus. Probably not a lesson most people need to learn, but Vera is on a mission, and in her mind, the clock is ticking.
But the next day, it appears all is forgiven.
Thanks.
I trust your opinion.
Vera even asks Justin to sample a new flavor of gelato, pumpkin flaxseed folly.
That's good.
Good.
Thanks, babe.
After devouring the entire bowl of gelato, Justin suddenly becomes ill.
Babe, are you all right?
I don't feel good.
Unbeknownst to Justin, the newest flavor of gelato has been laced with arsenic.
You shouldn't have lied to me.
I didn't lie. Please. Help.
Justin dies a slow and painful death on the gelato shop floor.
So Vera definitely has an interesting problem-solving style. Women tend to favor poison as their weapon of choice because it's less messy and doesn't require strength to overcome their victim. But the motive behind this murder is unique. Vera poisons her boyfriend because he didn't want a baby and then refused to have sex with her. Very Henry VIII. I'd say Vera's displaying classic narcissistic tendencies with a dash of hypocrisy thrown in. See, she goes out of her way to save the animals of the world, but when it comes to killing another human being, she goes from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat.
After serving Justin his last taste of gelato, Vera proceeds to chop him into pieces.
You may not know this, and why should you, but cutting through a human body is akin to using a butter knife to split wood. It takes an incredible amount of strength. Vera's probably, 110 pounds soaking wet, but she was likely pumped up by adrenaline, which explains how she could dismember Justin limb by limb. The fact that she was so methodical and unfazed by the whole deal suggests she can disassociate from reality just a little too easily. And that's not good news for Vera's future boyfriends.
2 days after killing and disposing of Justin, Vera files a missing persons report.
When was the last time you saw your boyfriend?
It was a couple of days ago. We got in a fight, and he stormed out. I thought he'd be back by now. Or maybe he's left me for good.
I doubt that.
Vera charms the detective, playing the part of jilted lover to perfection.
Can I offer you one of our lemony lime tofu torpedoes? It's a house specialty.
Sure.
Okay.
Always open to new experiences.
Just before the detective leaves, Vera makes him one last offer.
Sure you don't want to check in the basement for bodies or anything?
I'll see ya.
Bye, detective.
The fact that Vera can joke about looking for bodies in the basement without batting an eye shows she's brazen. She's practically daring the cop to call her bluff. She's playing with him. People like that are even more dangerous because it means they have a blatant disregard for authority and no fear of consequences, which translates to, watch your back, guys.
With Justin out of the picture permanently, Vera goes back to the drawing board, looking for yet another Prince Charming. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Vera, a week after Justin has his last taste of gelato, A maintenance man has been called in to do work on her building.
Big surprise, those little air fresheners won't actually conceal the smell of a dead body. Think rotting meat mixed with a dirty diaper left out in the hot sun for a week. Believe me, even after 25 years in the Bureau, it's not a scent that I ever got used to it, and I can still smell it if I think about it.
When Detective Nelson arrives, he makes a grisly discovery.
Not one, but two mutilated bodies buried in pumpkin flaxseed gelato. We know she poisoned and chopped up her activist boyfriend, but who else did Vera have it in for?
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Vera and Scott got married only a month after meeting each other. They soon opened a vegan gelato shop together, and their love flourished. But Scott soon got bored of the business and his wife,
Scott.
and refused to give her the one thing she wanted in life.
Go away.
A child. After divorcing Scott, he refuses to move out. So Vera, determined to find the man of her dreams, goes full steam ahead.
What, do you think you're gonna impress some loser wearing that?
She begins to date, while Scott hammers non-stop at her self-esteem.
Nothing but a cheap slut. No one is ever gonna want to have a baby with you. You'll be alone forever. Your stupid little store that doesn't make any money because it doesn't want to sell actual ice cream, so you're an idiot.
As Scott dodges Vera, he hits his head on the corner of the fireplace.
Scott. Whoops. Vera's impulsive side got the better of her there, and yep, even though her intention wasn't to kill him, it's through her actions that he died. And in the eyes of the law, that's murder. It looks like this split-second decision might have been what kick-started Vera's killing career.
At first, Vera is horrified, but soon realizes Scott is finally gone from her life, for good. But the next morning, Vera's faced with a formidable task: how to get rid of the body.
If you ask me, killing your ex-husband and chopping up his body without shedding a tear is a textbook definition of a sociopath, which basically means she's completely devoid of empathy. In Vera's mind, she's got to cover up the fact that she's killed Scott, even if it was by accident. Most of us at this point would call the police and confess our sins, but not Vantastic Vera.
The bodies are identified as her ex-husband and boyfriend, who she reported missing a week ago. Detective Nelson issues a warrant for Vera's arrest for double murder.
Please, open up.
At this point, you might think Vera is going to wave the white flag. I mean, she's wanted for double homicide, and the police are at her door. But a woman like Vera doesn't give up that easily. This wasn't part of her happily ever after scheme. But if there's one skill Vera possesses, it's an ability to think on her feet so she can easily switch lanes.
After finding Vera's apartment empty, Detective Nelson issues an all-points bulletin for Vera's arrest.
Could you take me to the airport, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Vera flees, heading to the closest airport.
That's Vera the Vixen. She's known around town as the animal rights activist.
You just turn the radio off. I hate the news.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Suddenly, she changes her mind.
My flight's canceled. Can you take me to the border?
All right.
Vera's instincts are good. She's smart to avoid the airport because police will put a hold on a person's passport as soon as they've issued a warrant for the arrest. They're going to be searching not only Vera's home, but every other place she's ever stepped foot in. So hightailing it out of the country could work in her favor.
All right.
12 hours later,
wakey, wakey, we're here.
An exhausted Vera arrives in Canada.
That'll be
$3,500. And stiffs the cabbie.
Are you serious?
Sorry.
Come on. Are you...
And to ensure she looks nothing like her former self, Vera, forever the master manipulator, comes up with the best disguise ever.
Looks like all of Vera's dreams are finally coming true. But can she hold it all together, or will her former career as a killer gelato maker catch up with her?
It's been 6 months, and despite a nationwide hunt for the beautiful blonde, there have been no leads until...
Holy.
The taxi driver who drove Vera to Canada comes forward.
Detective Nelson.
He tells the detective that the woman wanted for double murder is hiding out north of the border.
Yeah, I dropped her off in Quebec. She said she couldn't pay. So I remember.
Free advice. It never pays to be cheap. Of all the men Vera charmed throughout the years, she overlooked the one man who could bring her down, her taxi driver.
With the cabbie's help, Detective Nelson tracks down Vera in Canada.
Just a minute.
So, we meet again.
So we do, Detective.
Looks like you've been busy. All right, turn around.
Scott was immature. I mean, he still lived with me after the divorce. And he pissed me off. So I took a swing at him, and he fell. Kind of made the rest easy.
Vera freely admits to killing both her ex-husband
Justin would have been good
and her former boyfriend, Justin,
if he wasn't a cheater.
and disposing of their bodies in the basement of her gelato shop.
Why would you do that to someone you love?
They didn't give me what I wanted.
And what was that?
A baby.
Vera is a narcissist who likely suffers from manipulative behavior disorder, so when neither guy could give her what she wanted, they ended up 6 feet under. The scary part is this woman was perfectly sane and didn't suffer from psychotic delusions, which in layman's terms means she knew what she was doing.
Vera is convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole.
Hi, baby.
While in prison, she gives birth to a healthy baby girl, whom she names Buttercup.
You're gonna be so big and so strong.
Her dreams of being a mother,
Just like your mama.
finally realized.
Time's up.
Please, just one more minute.
You know the rules.
I'll see you soon.
Not exactly the vision of motherhood Vera had in mind. Most people who can't have a baby either visit a fertility clinic or adopt. Instead, Vera took matters into her own hands, and when she didn't get what she wanted from her fellas, she chopped them up into little bitty pieces. Now she'll spend the rest of her life alone with no chance of getting that white picket fence. It just goes to show that killing people to get your fairy tale life doesn't pay off. And I guess that's the problem. When you build your dreams on a mountain of gelato, it eventually melts and you're left with nothing. It looks like Vera finally got her just desserts.
The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and details have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. on this episode of Bizarre Murders.
Roll camera. And action.
Blake and Eden play star-crossed lovers on the most popular soap opera on TV.
Patch, I'm sorry. He looked exactly like you.
Their legions of fans are obsessed with the on-screen couple and the passion of their relationship.
No! It has to end.
But when one of them ends up dead and thrown away like trash, detectives come knocking on the door of the small-screen melodrama,
I'm not coming out.
looking for answers. Los Angeles, California, 2013. On a warm summer morning, a former model turned actress takes her daily stroll to a local strip mall.
That is one swanky shoe.
When she makes a surprising discovery in the car park. Detective Byers is called to the site.
Do something about this. They don't deserve to live.
It's that actor chick.
He identifies the body as soap opera star Eden from The Liars and the Lustful.
Let's cut.
Eden's father, John,
Eden, honey.
is the director and creator of the most watched soap in the country.
Trixie's devastated. Patch has just stormed out the door, so we really need to amp up the emotion.
Okay, got it.
All right, let's go again. Roll camera. And action.
She's so young.
Detective Byers believes Eden was most likely bludgeoned to death by the trophy she won as part of the most famous soap opera couple ever to hit the small screen.
All right, everybody, step back.
Why would anybody do this?
When a celebrity is killed, it can be hard to keep the investigation under wraps.
Give us some space.
Give me some space.
As an investigator, knowledge is power, and holding back key points of the investigation from the media is a very strategic move. You see, that way, if someone gives up information only the killer would know, then bam, you've got yourself your prime suspect.
The first suspect on Detective Byers' radar is Eden's husband and agent, Ty.
So, Ty, how did you two meet?
On set. She's a client of mine.
He's taken her from unknown actress to soap opera star to worldwide brand.
Ever any fights?
No. I mean, you argue, but no big fights.
The spouse is always the first person investigators look at. Was he cheating? Was she cheating? Did he get jealous and decide to off her?
Ever get physical?
No.
It sounds like I'm recounting a soap opera plot, but believe me, this stuff happens all too often in real life.
She was my everything. We were a dynamic duo. I would never hurt her.
Ty tells the detective that on the night of the murder, he had dinner at Mr. Chow with two of his most famous clients.
Robert Manero and Clayton Eastwood, you know them?
Actor type?
Yeah.
Not only did other diners see him there, he was photographed by the paparazzi going into the restaurant.
The bad thing about being famous in Hollywood is that you can't go anywhere without being watched or followed. Just ask the Kardashians. The paparazzi can be a menace, but if you're an innocent man being questioned for the murder of your wife and they can provide you an alibi, maybe there is a use for the paps after all.
After confirming Ty's alibi, Detective Byers is searching for his new lead.
Detective Byers?
Yes, how can I help you?
When it literally walks through the door.
I have some information about Trixie's murder.
Really?
Blanche, who found Eden, tells the detective that she's an avid fan of the soap opera, The Liars and the Lustful.
For 20 years, I haven't missed a single episode. What are they going to do next season?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I was so honored to be the one to have found her body. You know, my apartment is right across the street from there.
The day of the murder, she remembers seeing a car idled for a long time.
My antenna went up, and I knew something wasn't right.
It seemed suspicious enough for Blanche to write down the license plate number.
In the case of a celebrity death, everybody's got a theory, and rumors spread like a California wildfire. Usually, amateur detectives are a nuisance for cops, but in this case, an avid fan's keen eye just might turn this case around.
You know, we all need to pull together to find Trixie's killer.
Eden. Eden's killer.
Pardon?
Never mind.
A search of the license plates reveals that one of the cars belongs to Eden, and the other belongs to Blake, Eden's co-star, AKA Patch.
This kind of lucky break doesn't happen often in my line of work. Usually detectives just pound the pavement day after day, putting their case together. But sometimes, even the grittiest jobs are sprinkled with Hollywood stardust. So when it happens, you just look up and thank your lucky stars.
2 years ago, Blake was a struggling actor who worked as a stripper by night while auditioning during the day. A good Midwestern farm boy with more looks than talent, he came to Hollywood to fulfill his lifelong dream of winning an Oscar. But when he couldn't find work, he used the one thing he did have in his arsenal to pay the bills: his body. It's also where he met his wife, Cassie.
Why did you have him follow me?
Because I've learned something about you, Trixie. I've learned I can't trust you anymore.
Eventually, he gets his lucky break and lands a plum role on The Liars and the Lustful.
I can't live without you.
Patch, I love you.
He's cast as Patch, the tempestuous, impulsive lover of Eden's character, Trixie.
And I hate you.
Their drama-filled relationship soon thrust them into fame's bright spotlight, and fans can't get enough of their favorite couple.
Blake.
Detective Byers asks Blake to come down to the station for questioning.
For you, sir.
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
More for my fans.
We have a little problem, Blake. Your car was seen in the parking lot where Eden was murdered.
That's absurd, Detective. I mean, there's no way that's even possible.
Blake insists the witness must be mistaken. He claims he stayed in all day with his wife.
Do you know there's a surveillance camera in a store in that parking lot? Sees your car, plain as day.
In cop parlance, this is called a bluff. You know your suspect is lying, but you have no proof. So you bend the truth a little bit just to see if you can force his hand. With a little luck and a half-decent performance, he'll crack.
Okay, yeah. I'll tell you what you want to know, but you're not gonna like it.
Try me.
Detective Byers beat Blake at his own game and tricked him into confessing. Now let's see if Blake will spin another tall tale or finally cop to the truth.
Why was your car there, Blake?
Under pressure from Detective Byers, Blake cracks.
Well, the only reason my car was there is because Eden asked me to come and meet her.
Patch, I'm sorry. He looked exactly like you. I love you.
Blake tells Detective Byers that he and Eden are friendly on set.
I know.
But according to Blake,
No, cut.
6 months into their torrid on-screen affair,
Terrific. Really doing great, but
Eden begins to fall for her co-star.
we need you to play harder to get, to make her work for it.
She flirts incessantly, hoping for a passionate relationship off-screen as well.
All right, good?
Yep.
All right, let's go again. And roll sound.
Blake denies her advances,
Thank you.
trying to concentrate solely on the work.
Blakey, we've got a few minutes before our next scene, so I was thinking that we could...
Eden, no, let's save our passion for the screen, okay?
You suck.
Eden.
Tired of being rejected, Eden refuses to return to the set.
I'm not coming out!
Come on, honey, come on out.
Go away!
They shut down filming for the day,
Blake,
but not before Blake is given a warning.
I need you to fix this. Production's counting on you.
Concerned he'll be fired, Blake reaches out to Eden. He doesn't want his first big break to be his last big break. And if Eden doesn't return to set, he fears it's his neck on the line.
Wish me luck, man.
Knowing how volatile Eden can be, Blake treads lightly.
I really want us to get along, Eden.
Really?
But Eden takes his peace offering
Eden.
as a come-on.
No, I'm married.
So am I. What's that got to do with it?
Eden, our love exists. It's on screen through Patch and Trixie.
No. If I can't have you, no one will.
In a fit of rage, Eden attacks Blake.
No!
Trying to fend her off, he grabs the only thing in sight, his trophy, and slams it into Eden's head.
Oh my gosh. Eden! No! 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 I never meant to hurt her. I just panicked.
Thank you. That's your story.
Yes.
Then how do you explain that?
Detective Byers tells Blake that the fingerprints on the trophy that bludgeoned Eden weren't his.
They're your wife's.
That's impossible. She would never do this.
Blake and Cassie marry shortly after meeting and get an unexpected wedding present.
And this is the kitchen?
When Blake lands the part of Patch on The Liars and the Lustful.
What do you think of this?
Oh, wow.
Not bad, eh?
This is so cool.
I know, right?
Cassie thinks they've hit the jackpot.
My, oh my, who do we have here?
Until she meets Eden, his beautiful co-star.
Blake.
Oh, Blake, we've been expecting you.
Really? You've heard of me already?
Of course, you're my new lover.
Wow. That's a huge compliment. I mean, quite frankly, I just wanted to let you know that I am a huge fan of your work. No, I think you're an artist.
You're making me blush. You're gonna turn me all pink. Stop.
Cassie gets more and more jealous as Patch and Trixie's on-screen love affair grows.
What is this?
Babe, it's just a part. She means nothing to me. I mean it.
Shush!
But Cassie can't stop obsessing.
So let's backtrack a second. Cassie's prints were found on the murder weapon, and she's clearly green with envy over her husband's relationship with Eden. A jealous lover killing their rival is not just the makings of a good soap opera plot. It happens all the time in real life. I've seen the most reasonable people lose it because they think their loved one is cheating on them. The problem is, once they get the seed of doubt planted deep in their mind,
That is not nothing.
they can't get it out. And they obsess over it until it becomes so overwhelming that the only way to release the mounting pressure is to confront it. I'm sensing hints of fatal attraction. You know what I mean?
Have a seat.
Am I in trouble?
Looks like detectives are honing in on Blake's wife, Cassie. She can't deny her fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. But that doesn't mean that's the end of the story. It's my guess she's got a tale of her own to tell.
Funny thing is, the bloody fingerprints are yours.
It's not what you think.
Cassie cracks under the pressure.
Eden was in love with him.
She confirms Blake's claim that Eden was aggressively pursuing a relationship with him.
She kept making advances, and he kept saying, I'm married.
But that's where the similarities between Blake and Cassie's story ends.
Babe, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for tonight.
welcome.
Wine, chocolate, maybe we could do a little bit less with the chocolate. But
I think we need less chocolate.
anyway, babe, I actually got a new copy of the script, and
The day of the murder, Blake tells Cassie that Eden wants to meet with him to rehearse an upcoming scene.
Do you really think I'm that stupid?
Believing that Eden has finally got her claws into Blake,
I'm on to you.
No, Cassie cakes, come on.
Cassie accuses him of cheating on her.
Why would I want her when I have you? Babe, no, calm down. It's okay.
In an attempt to calm Cassie down, he invites her along to the rehearsal.
I'll show you. It's all very innocent. You'll see.
Cassie hides in the back seat of the car as Blake meets with Eden
Hi, Blakey Doodle.
and soon gets proof her suspicions were right.
I guess we won't be needing this.
Eden, no, I'm married. Our love exists. It's just on screen through Patch and Trixie.
No. If I can't have you, no one will.
Worried Eden is about to kill her husband, Cassie comes to Blake's defense and grabs the closest thing to her.
Cassie! What have you done?
Cassie insists that she hit Eden in self-defense.
I mean, she was gonna kill him. What was I supposed to do? You should have seen the look in her eyes.
She tells Detective Byers that Blake confessed to protect her, but he had nothing to do with it.
Really?
Looking for the truth, Detective Byers sets out to talk to the cast and crew of The Liars and the Lustful.
Detective Byers.
John, sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
He quickly discovers that Blake's story about Eden's obsession is a little more fiction than fact.
Eden loved her husband. They were a match made in heaven.
As the detective delves deeper into the soap opera world, he learns that Blake is known as a method actor.
He took his craft very seriously.
For those of you who aren't in the know, the method is a style of acting where the actor totally immerses himself in the role and tries to truly experience the emotions of their character.
He wanted us to call him Patch even when the cameras weren't rolling.
Seriously?
It all sounds a little complicated to me, but hey, I'm not an actor, so I'm gonna leave it to the pros.
No! No! It has to end!
Trixie,
On the day of Eden's murder, John surprises the cast by writing Blake out of the show.
Cut, that's a wrap.
He feels a dramatic breakup scene is exactly what their ratings need.
John.
Yes.
Blake begs John to reconsider the breakup of Trixie and Patch.
I have so much more story to tell.
But John refuses.
There's not a chance, Blake. It's for the best. Really good work.
Hey, Eden, I need you to talk to your father.
Blake, I'm sorry. Once my dad's made up his mind, there's no changing it.
The desperation of a person trying to get what they want can drive them to do unspeakable things. And Blake is one desperate dude, but this is taking things to the extreme. He's sunk so far into his role that he's unable to distinguish what is real and what isn't. There's a different word for that in my line of work. It's called delusional.
Hey, I need to talk to you in person.
Hey, buddy.
It can't end like this.
Are you okay?
Can you meet me somewhere?
Yeah, sure. Just let me know where.
Okay. Okay, thanks, hon.
So this flies in the face of what both Blake and Cassie told Detective Byers. If Blake arranged for the meeting, not Eden, then that puts things in a totally different light. It speaks to intent and it speaks to premeditation. Did Blake have it in his mind to make Eden pay because he was being cut from the show? Was he gonna threaten her and then things went sideways? Or was his plan always to get rid of Eden for good? Right now, Blake's motivation isn't clear, but either way, he's writing the final act of his one-man show, and it ain't gonna be pretty.
Detective Byers now knows that both Blake and Cassie are lying to him. But he gets an even bigger surprise when the autopsy reports come back. It reveals Eden died not by a blow to the head as originally suspected, but by strangulation.
The detective has two versions of Eden's death, and neither one of them involve strangling someone to death in self-defense. So what does that mean to Detective Byers? The short answer is this: someone's lying.
So,
Detective Byers confronts Blake with the evidence that Eden was strangled.
what do you have to say about that?
Directly contradicting Blake's earlier story of killing Eden in self-defense.
Cough it up. What's the real story?
The actor's tough exterior crumbles.
You got me.
He tells the detective he had no choice.
She deserved it.
When Blake gets home from set after performing his final love scene with Eden, he's devastated.
She broke up with me.
What?
Trixie broke up with me. They're cutting me from the show.
Blake lies to Cassie, telling her John would prefer to keep Patch on the show rather than Trixie, but he can't fire his own daughter.
He is nothing but trouble. First, she tries to steal my man, and then she gets you fired?
There is another way.
What do you mean?
This, my friends, is a brilliant course in Manipulation 101. Playing on someone's insecurities is a surefire way to get them to do what you want. In this case, Blake needs an accomplice, and he knows his wife's jealousy will cause her to go along with just about any plan he suggests.
We need to kill Trixie.
You mean Eden?
Yes, of course. Eden, we need to kill Eden.
In an attempt to get rid of her biggest rival and finally have her husband all to herself,
Let's do it.
Cassie agrees.
doing, buddy?
You shouldn't have done it, Trixie.
What? Blake, that's my character. It's Eden here. What's up?
You never should have broken up with me.
Are you okay?
Get your hands off of him! No! Take that, you man-stealer!
When they're sure she's passed out,
You can't say I didn't warn you, Trixie!
Blake proceeds to strangle Eden to death with his own hands.
Cassie and I went out for sushi afterwards, and I got California rolls because I don't really like raw fish, but she ended up getting this.
Blake! Why did you do it?
She broke up with me.
You mean your characters broke up? On TV?
No, I mean, Trixie broke up with me. Patch.
Get up.
Detective Byers charges Blake and Cassie with first-degree murder.
It's over, Blake.
Patch. You can call me Patch.
They both receive a life sentence for murdering Eden.
By the way, can I get my trophy back after all this?
No.
The fact that Blake cares more about his soap opera award than the human life only reinforces what we know about him. He's living in an alternate reality, kind of method acting his way through life.
While in prison, Blake and Cassie divorce. But Blake doesn't stay single for long. He soon takes up with a pen pal, a longtime fan of The Liars and the Lustful. She agrees to call him Patch.
So what we have here is a man unable to distinguish fantasy from reality. In Blake's mind, he was his character, and when Trixie broke up with Patch, Blake felt the anger and humiliation that goes along with being ditched like a hot potato. And because he probably suffers from some type of narcissistic personality disorder, there was no way he was going to let her treatment of him go unpunished. It was easy for him to get Cassie to agree to the plan because she hated Eden and figured if she was out of the picture, they would live happily ever after. But while planning the perfect murder may work out in soap operas, it rarely happens in real life. In reality, the couple that kills together doesn't stay together. But somehow I don't think Blake, or rather Patch, really minds. I guess there are advantages to living in a fantasy world.